Welcome. Welcome to Thoughts Roundup. Well, here we find ourselves in Brother Mays' church in Georgia. And we have also with us tonight Brother Andrew Mays.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
We've known each other a while.
Yep. Going on 16 years.
16 years. Well, it is so nice to see you and see that you're such an integral part of the church. You do a good job on those drums even.
I pretend and people believe it.
Well, I'll tell you what. How long have you? Now what your position is?
So, unofficially, I'm the jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Officially, I'm the Spanish pastor.
Oh, I see. You know, this morning we had a nice service with the Spanish people here, and incidentally, folks, Brother Andrew was the one that interpreted.
Yes, sir.
You do a good job with that, and it has to be done. You have to keep things flowing.
Yes.
And you do a good job with that. When did you learn Spanish?
So, in high school, I took 4 years, and then I took a semester of college. But at that point, we were living in Durham, North Carolina. There's a large Latino population. And so I spoke some Spanish outside of that. And then for about a decade, I used no Spanish. And it wasn't until we started having some Hispanics interested in coming here that I attempted to relearn Spanish.
Relearn, huh? Well, now, your sister also knows Spanish.
Yeah, and she went through less in high school because Spanish didn't interest her as much, so she had some French, some Arabic in college. But when she started working with the Hispanic ladies is when she really started getting Spanish, as well as playing it. And it's easy to read it, such as lyrics, because it's simple to pronounce, even if you don't know exactly what you're saying.
Is that right? Well, I'll tell you what. The truth of it is, I have not learned English yet.
That's the same.
No, you all do a good job. You have an outside job also, don't you?
I do.
Tell us about that.
So I work at Western Governors University. I'm a project manager over assessments. And because it's a non-traditional, not brick and mortar school, the professors aren't the ones who write the exams. They have their own group of people, and so I write exams or guide the people, the experts.
You create the exams?
I do, for the College of IT.
Oh. I'd hate to have one of your exams. I believe they'd be tough.
They're meant to be fair, meant to only cover the material from that course.
I see. Then who grades the papers and all?
It's automated. If it's multiple choice, which is what I create.
Yeah.
And I also write the performance assessments, like papers, but we create a rubric, and then we have evaluators that take care of the evaluation of the papers.
Uh-huh. You like your job?
I love my job. I get to work from home.
Oh, you do?
I do, and that's a lot of fun. We have 2 kids under 2. With our recent, who's a month and a half old, I got another 12 weeks off, and so I get to stay home for that.
Yeah, and ever so often you fill the pulpit?
I do. Tuesday nights I preach bilingually, and it's really our Bible study night, and then Thursday nights are Spanish service, and I preach in Spanish.
So how many years have you? How many years have your family been here?
We'll have been here 16 years this month.
I see. Yeah. Well, and you're not going anywhere, are you?
Not foreseeable, no.
Unless the Lord speaks to you.
Yeah. And right now the burden is for the Hispanic-speaking community in the Augusta area.
Well, and I tell you, the group of Spanish people here this morning, they were very delightful.
They are.
Now you have English speaking only tonight, but now during the week you have just Spanish. don't you?
Tuesdays, both languages. Thursday is Spanish only.
Thursday Spanish
Yes.
only. So that makes it fair.
Mm-hmm. And there's been some talk about all services bilingual and dropping back to 3 services. Doesn't really feel like you're dropping back services when it's to 3. But some people like to have all of it in only their own language, which is understandable.
Tell us about your family.
Got a wife, Christina, 2 kids. David's 1.5, and Camilla is 6 weeks old. They're a delight.
Well, yes, I am so glad to get to. Well, I started to say see them again, but I don't know if I'd seen any of them.
You did our
One.
banquet 2 years ago, and David wasn't there because he was a week old.
Week old.
And now they're
Oh,
they're all
yes,
here.
you know, I remember that.
Yep.
I remember that now. It's strange that I would remember it, but I do. And so, how's the daddy business? You
It's a lot of fun.
getting on to it?
Not yet. Not fully. He doesn't understand enough to.
Let me tell you, I got every bottle that our kids had to have at night.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about all I contribute. But at night, my kids, I got every bottle that they needed, and I still don't know why I took that on myself to do that, but
I'm sure your wife really appreciated it.
yes, and she worked hard, all day and so forth. Well, is there anything you'd just like to add and say?
Sure, because this might reach some other people. I think there's a great door of opportunity, and you see it more and more, outreach to the Hispanic community. We talk about foreign missions, and this church believes in foreign missions.
You sure do.
But you've got what would traditionally be considered the foreign mission field coming to your front door.
Yeah.
And you don't think of it in a lot of places because, well, perhaps you don't speak the language, but you have all throughout the United States now, especially in rural communities, this great door of opportunity where we had a girl who made and sold cakes and pastries, and we talked once about how you're missing out on this major target market.
Yeah.
We have the gospel. It's not limited to one language, and it's the foreign mission fields no longer limited to the foreign field, where you have more and more churches becoming taking on Spanish works, and that's something I'd recommend to almost anyone. Find out in your community, is this an opportunity? Because
and it no doubt is in most of them.
in most communities, and you find them to be more interested. There's more of a need, and they know there's a need, and so there's more of a desire.
Well, that is so super. I may talk to you off camera a little about this sometimes.
Sure.
I'd see, so I can recommend certain things and know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and there's some great resources out there now for people trying to start daughter works that, I don't even remember hearing of when we were starting, and that's only been now 3 years ago.
What I like is what you said, they're more interested. It's easier to interest them in church.
And you think about it, we're the land of opportunity. We have everything from health insurance to air conditioning, and so a lot of your English-speaking community, they don't feel their needs. But when you have people that have already come here because of opportunity, and they don't have health insurance, and they don't have security in terms of, will I be able to stay here? They acutely feel a need for something more.
Yeah, and boy, anybody would have to go back. You might could give them something in their heart to take back with them.
For sure, we've seen that a lot happen.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah. Well, God bless you. Thank you a lot, Brother Andrew.
Likewise, thank you, Brother Marler. It's
Love
been
you.
a delight.
Bless you.